Well, fellow golfers, have I got something interesting for you. First of all, happy Christmas, happy holidays, have fun golfing, and a lot of success in 2020. We've had quite a bit of rain over the recent days. It got me thinking, what do I do on wintry days, indoors, when I'm either not playing golf or when I can't? Right now my course is closed because it's been waterlogged over the last few days. So I've put together 10 little drills for indoor with minimal equipment, aside from your golf clubs, a wall, a putting mat or a carpet, to really show you what I do, and 10 different drills that I commend to you and I share with you for your benefit. Do subscribe, lots more coming. As I mentioned in my last clip, take a look at the fields and tips again. I'll put those links in again. Take a look at some of those warm-ups and stretches. And as a bonus, before we start, let's start with 2 new little warm-ups that I've been recently also doing on the golf course before I tee off on the first tee. And they're both inspired by that enigmatic Spanish golfer Miguel Angel Jimenez. Let's do the Jimenez wobble. Yes, side by side, side by side. And from the side, the Jimenez wobble. How do you like it? Take any club, a putter if you wish, or because I happen to have it, but a driver preferably. Put your feet spread out and sit down and stretch. Sit down and stretch. From the side, sit down and stretch. You can put it even further out if you wish. Good, good. Exercise. Great little exercise. I commend it to you, both of these. The Jimenez wobble and the Jimenez lunge. And now for those 10 indoor drills, I'm going to focus 5 on the putter because it's so much a major part of your game. You hit many, many more strokes with your putter than almost any other single individual club. But also on your short irons, your 7 to pitching wedge, your scoring irons. In some cases it might be your 6 to pitching wedge, your scoring irons. To show you a couple of drills that I do in relation to that, to really get that muscle memory moving, embed some key moves which you don't need to really hit balls for. On the putt, I will be hitting a ball obviously along the ground, but on the others you don't need to hit a ball. I hope you find these interesting. Do subscribe. Let me know what you think. If you got some even more interesting and better ones that you use with great success on those wintry days, indoors with minimal equipment, share. I'd love to learn from you. But I hope you find these extremely useful and help you tone up your golf swing for the days, in fact, that you go out winter, autumn, summer, spring. Enjoy. Yeah, Tanya's joining us, sitting on the putting mat, waiting for me to demonstrate those 5 putting drills to you. So the first one, remember I'm left-handed, so if you're right-handed, you do all of these the opposite way. It's just to take 2 clubs, I've got my 9 and my pitching wedge under each arm, crossed over, and just practice the wedge shot. Feet closer together, weight on the front. So in practice, getting that move. Good foot, wedge, and you're chipping. So come through, don't forget, 60% of your weight is already on your front foot. Nice little drill. Again, I commend the top 10 feels. I'll put a link to that clip. So on this little drill, I've got a little mat here. I'm not taking any ball, but I want to really practice my iron shot and to some extent my wedge shots as well. And I want to make sure that I'm hitting the ball, impacting the ground just after the ball. So if you take some sort of sunscreen spray, and just spray a line at the point where you want to be hitting the club. So you want to hit the club and come through along that line forwards. You don't want to be back here. And one way to check that is by spraying this. When I come through, you will see the white on the club. And you see this has got some white spray here. I was striking in the right place as I came through. Clean up your club, repeat, spray more if you need to, and you will find that you start to get that position in your iron shots much better. So sticking with your iron clubs, I'm going to show you a quick setup and takeaway drill you can do. So get ready for your setup with your grip, with your tip of your iron club against the wall, your tip of the iron club against the wall. Well, check your position, your alignment of your shoulders, your alignment of your knees should be in line with the wall. So same alignment of the wall, same alignment of the knees, and same alignment of your shoulders. And then you practice your takeaway. Now the takeaway is not going to be along the wall. Very slight out. So we're very slight out and back. All right? So practice that takeaway to that parallel position. But it's getting that right alignment and that right takeaway. Putting pressure on your back foot, but resisting it as you begin the turn back. You're still staying over the ball. You're not swaying back. So you're using this as a pillar to resist your turn. And that's why the resistance exercises that I'll be showing in Ollie's Golf Studio are so important as well. So we're going to look at the right impact position. And very good way to check. You put the ball in the middle of your stance. You're a couple of inches away from, in my case, the glass door. I'm not going to hit the ball, but I'm going to practice the impact position. Key is, look at the butt of the club and the wrist. It's come to the wall. It's come to the wall. Practice a shot where you come down and your impact position, the butt of the club touches the wall. Butt of the club touches the wall. Just do that a series of times. Get your muscle memory used to that move. And then obviously I'm not hitting the ball. I'm just getting used to that position where the butt of the club hits the wall. And then as I come through, obviously my wrist goes through and is aiming at the target. So just practice that impact position just a couple of inches away from the wall for my iron shot. A little takeaway exercise. I'm standing a foot and a half away from the wall and I'm doing my takeaway. I'm doing my takeaway and the butt of the club hits the wall. The butt of the club hits the wall. You can hear that as I do my takeaway. Get used to that. And this is resisting your turn. This is creating the power as you go through, keeping your arms straight. Okay, it'll pay off in the golf course as you get that into your muscle memory. Really doing the power move, but without doing it fully on the way back. But again, very good to learn to move your hips and your weight shift as you reach the top of the backswing. Imagine I'm lifting the club. I'm about a foot and a half away from the wall. Onto my left shoulder. In my case, it'd be the right shoulder if you're a right-hander. And then doing the full move, and it's practicing the power move for that beginning of coming down. So just get used to that power move feeling. So once again, straight forward, up, and get used to that starts the move. Use your hip turn and opening up your hips to begin to come down. Up there, my full turn, and then that little power move. I hope you find that useful. You're also working those hips, working your glutes to achieve that. You get that into your muscle memory together with the previous tip of the takeaway with the proper setup and the proper starting takeaway. You really hone in a super little iron swing. I hope you're enjoying these indoor drills for the winter period, for when you're not playing golf, even in other times of the year. I'm going to focus now the remaining tips and drills on putting. Very critical. So I'm going to show you a couple of different things. First and foremost, indoors, you can really only work on your proper alignment and stroking the ball properly. Speed is very difficult to do indoors, and obviously curvatures of the greens are difficult to replicate. That's fine because it's so important to get the fundamentals right. Now, there are several things. One is, and the most important thing, no matter what your stance is, because partly to do with your body and your shapes, your stance might be slightly different in each case. What you want to do is be hitting the ball in the center of the face. That is the most critical thing. So if you hit it out of the front of the face or the back of the face, you're not going to get your alignment correctly. What I've done is I've put 2 rubber bands around the back and front of the putter with probably a ball and a half space. Ball and a half space. So a ball and a half space, 2 bits of rubber band, very simple. 1 on either side of the insert that I've got. And I'm trying to make sure that that's where I strike the ball every time. If you hit the rubber band, you know you are not hitting the center of the face. So get into your stance. You'll have seen some of the tips I've done on putting. Take a look at those. This particular drill is focused on minimal body movement, center of the face strike each time. Now that you've got that going, what else is there to do? Now, it's important to have the correct weight balance. So I've got a little noodle here, which I picked up from a local hardware store, but you could also put a golf towel rolled up. And you want to put that in your arches of your feet so that you have the correct balance. The reason for doing this is if you have too much body movement, you will wobble. So this forces you to keep still. You can combine it with the rubber band drill, as I like to do. Right, so I kept my lower body very still because I'm on this noodle. Really useful little drill. Do it with the rubber band face drill combined. Add to that another one that's coming up. There are two little different drills that I've seen. I vary it between one another. One is to lift one foot up, so your front foot is what gives you the balance, and then I am putting. The other one that I use, which I tend to personally prefer, is to cross my feet. So by crossing my feet, I'm absolutely, and tightening my legs together, I'm absolutely forcing myself to just get the simple arm movement and no body movement. Superb little drill. Try it, you won't regret it. Another important thing to do is not to be too tight in your hands with the putter. So I've rolled up a golf towel around the handle where I hold it, so it makes it extremely thick, and I'm just holding it gently and stroking it. I can tell you that has helped me a lot because I don't get tight in my hands. I get nice and loose, but still by not having the body movement, the earlier drills, I'm beginning to get super accuracy. And the idea is that if you hit the ball in the center of the face and straight, you have a second ball. I've put it 1 foot ahead. If you had more adventurous, put it 2 feet ahead. And the idea is one ball hits the other ball, and the other ball should go straight also into the hole. Remember the previous tip of weights and soft hands. Beautiful. Straight, second ball went straight along the whole line after the first ball struck it, which meant I hit it centrally and straight along the center of the face. Enjoy, subscribe. Exciting stuff. These 10 super drills will help you during those cold winter days or when you don't manage to get out of the golf course, so you can practice and get your muscle memory in shape, particularly for your short game. I commend these 10 to you. Do let me know how you find each of them. Add some comments if you have some suggestions. Very exciting things to come. Still, more different sets of exercises, including resistance, and I'll be working on drills, particularly on the outdoors. And those will be equally, if not more, exciting. Of course, these drills you could also do outside, on the putting green and in other practice areas. So I commend you to do those as well. Keep those 2 rubber bands on. Take it like that to the course. It will remind you to, as long as you're not in a competition, it'll remind you to hit the center of the face. Get used to that a few rounds, perhaps even if you play by yourself. Hone in on some of these short game skills. Look at the tips that I gave you earlier. Look at the fields. The drills to come will add another new dimension and together give you a superb toolkit with your muscle memory intact to really reduce your score, to have more fun, to extend your golf life, to really enjoy the game, come rain or shine, snow, winter, summer or autumn. Happy Christmas, folks.